What is up, YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2019 Back-to-Back Battles. Today, we're using the Palkia Kyogre team once again with Palkia, Kyogre, Incineroar, Amoonguss, Tapu Lele, and Hawlucha. Thank you all so much for the support on the previous episode. Quite insane so far. Let's keep it up. But right now, we're just going to be playing with this team. If you haven't checked out the previous episode, which was the first episode, by the way, I highly recommend go check it out. But otherwise, I think we're going to get started with this team. Palkia, Kyogre, Incineroar, Tapu Lele, Amoonguss, and Hawlucha. Let's get started and play some games, and hopefully we have some really good games. But otherwise, yeah, Palkia, just one of my favorite Pokemon. I do love Generation 4 so much. I think I talk about Generation 4 a lot, but it has a deep place in my heart because it was like the first Pokemon game that I was physically able to own. Like, I played Pokemon before, I played Fire Red, Leaf Green over a friend's house, but like, man, Generation 4 has a special place in my heart for being like my first game, technically. As we got our first opponent of today, bring the team of Incineroar, Kyogre, Cresselia, the Snorlax, Xerneas, and Crobat. So, pretty interesting. You got like Trick Room, you got quite a few interesting options here. I like Kyogre, I like Palkia, I like Lele, which is weird because I like Lele. I'm not sure why I like Lele, I just do. And I think Amoonguss, although Incineroar could be useful, I don't think it is. So yeah, I'll go Palkia, Kyogre here with Tapu Lele and Amoonguss. I like having that switch in with Amoonguss, being able to set up the spores under Trick Room if that's the case. I also like having Tapu Lele because if Incineroar leads, I can just switch out into my Tapu Lele and click like Hydro Pump or Water Spout or whatever move I really want to click there. So I think that's the way to go. I could see myself bringing Incineroar in this matchup because of the fact that, you know, U-turn is pretty nice, fake out, stall out the terrain, but if I'm bringing Tapu Lele, I don't really see myself doing that as much. So right here, I wonder what it is. My opponent has a Crobat, which is interesting, which, you know, could signal a Tailwind, maybe a fast mode. But I just can't tell if the Kyogre, maybe it's like a variant where you EV it to survive and survive certain things, be decently slow, but also decently fast, especially under Tailwind, maybe hitting some certain numbers. So we'll see how this matchup goes for today's episode. But yes, let us see. What is it going to be from my opponent? I think maybe just Incineroar, Cresselia, so you can guarantee Trick Room up. I think that would be a very solid lead for my opponent here, but we'll see. Let's see what my opponent is going to lead. But Palkia, Kyogre, going to be my lead. Just, I don't know, I really do like this lead. It's just so much damage threatening. We're going to see the Crobat plus Incineroar, so that's pretty good for me. I mean, I could just switch out into Tapu Lele and click Water Spout. I don't see a way my opponent can actually threaten the Kyogre. Maybe if it's a Pasho or Assault Vest Incineroar, maybe I could go for a knockoff in my Kyogre, and if this Crobat has Protect, I guess that could be an option. But Crobat in VGC 2016 didn't carry Protect. Its common moveset was like Super Fang, Taunt, Tailwind, and then you would see maybe like a filler. Maybe it would be Haze, for instance. Haze was pretty common. Or maybe even Brave Bird. I do just go out into Lele here. It's very safe and just click Water Spout. My opponent's actually pretty high up. It's the ladder hasn't been up for that long actually. But 1580, that's pretty high for like the first few days. So let's see. My opponent is actually really close to 1600, but let's see. I'm going to make sure that this is going to be a fight. So just go Lele here. I don't even know my opponent's going to go for the fake out right away, but this is just a safe play just so I can guarantee a lot of damage to my opponent. So I'm okay with this trade. We're going to see the Incineroar switch out actually, so I'm doubling out here into the Cresselia. So that's fine for me. I just get a free Water Spout off. That's a lot of damage coming up onto my opponent, so I do not mind that. And I get my Taunt user in. Focus Sash on the Crobat? Yeah, it's a critical hit. I don't think that really matters because it is a Focus Sash on the Crobat. Tailwind does go up for my opponent. Huh. Okay, so it's Incineroar. We got Crobat. That means my opponent only has one restricted Pokemon, so it's either Kyogre or Xerneas in the back. I do have to keep Amoonguss around. If you Tailwind it, you're not gonna Trick Room, are you? No, you probably wouldn't. Super Fang, I think Water Spout would still knock out the Cresselia at this range. I think I'm just gonna go for the Moonblast and the Water Spout. I don't really have room to switch right now, and I think I'm okay with this. Yeah, Super Fang gonna come out. Maybe this is offensive Cresselia? Well, I'm faster anyway, so Water Spout gonna come out, does knock out the Crobat. It does knock out Cresselia too, so my opponent's, yeah, down 4-2, but has Tailwind up, so that could be pretty big depending on what the last Pokemon is. And I just realized my red card's basically useless since I did knock out both my opponent's Pokemon, but I feel like I'm still in an okay scenario. Incineroar probably coming out here. And, well, Incineroar has to come out, but Xerneas, I'm guessing, is the last Pokemon? Yeah, it had to be Xerneas. If I can focus on the Incineroar, I feel pretty okay about my spot. This is gonna be a bit of a tough situation though, because I can't really Water Spout here. The damage is not gonna be good. You're gonna knock off my Kyogre, go for Geomancy. Actually no, my Kyogre is faster. What am I saying? My Kyogre would be faster. I'm gonna try to get rid of this Incineroar because Amoonguss can beat the Xerneas. And Kyogre should be faster than Incineroar. So unless you fire up a Moonblast, I'm fine. And we're gonna see that Geomancy come out, which is no surprise. That animation is just beautiful. But let's see. I like how they gave it the new charge thing. Oh, the first time seeing Geomancy in game. That is beautiful. That's actually beautiful. It's not as good as the 2016 one though, but it's still beautiful. Water Spout plus Moonblast. As long as I get my Amoonguss in for free and able to threaten the Incineroar, I think I'm okay. It looks like it is Assault Vest on the Incineroar. Actually, I can't really tell. Knockoff going to come out, does target down my Lele, which is fine because I have a Mind Plate. As Moonblast going to come out, let's see if it knocks out Incineroar. If it does, I'm in a pretty good spot. If it doesn't, I'm in a pretty bad spot. It does knock out Incineroar, so Amoonguss is looking really good in this situation. I can sack Kyogre, yeah, because you're gleaming. Yes. Yeah. Only thing is that the Xerneas has something like Substitute. But even if it has Substitute, I just click Psychic and Spore. And, I can Spore Clear Smog. I got multiple options. Dazzling Gleam gonna come out, which is no surprise there. As, let's see if it KOs Kyogre. Yeah, it does. Perfect. Okay. So, I'm gonna lose my Kyogre. My opponent's Tailwind peters out, which, you know, wasn't really changing much. We're gonna go, which actually does change much once I get that Clear Smog off. So, we will go out to Amoonguss here. We'll go for Spore. Spore is the best play that I potentially have. I'll go for the Psychic here into the Xerneas because if it tries to sub, I hope Psychic can actually break the Substitute. And I'll go for the Spore into the Xerneas slot because if I do get the Spore off in the Xerneas, I can Clear Smog the following turn, which is pretty big. As the match is just going to be forfeit, it looks like my opponent just feels like you can't break through the Amoonguss, which is fair because Spore, then Clear Smog, I have Palkia. As long as I connect the attack, I should be fine. And even then, like maybe I could just click Flamethrower, for instance, after the Clear Smog because it'll do a lot. Rain is going to expire soon. So Flamethrower, Clear Smog into Flamethrower into another Clear Smog into one more Clear Smog should do it, and you would have to get like a first turn wake. You would probably have to crit. So yeah, there really weren't many options for my opponent. I felt like in terms of the damage output that could be offered right there. But yeah, just able to pick up a win. Was able to focus around the Xerneas, which was pretty nice. Kyogre was just able to get a lot of damage early on. Yeah. That was pretty much what was the big factor there. Of course, I could have potentially screwed up depending on the Incineroar set. I think it was Berry Incineroar, which might have saved me because if it was Assault Vest Incineroar, it could have actually been a troublesome situation. As we got our next opponent from Japan, another Xerneas Kyogre. No surprise, a lot of Xerneas Kyogre with Talonflame, which is an interesting Pokemon because Talonflame was really good back in 2016. It was part of the Big Six, which was one of the more standard teams of the format, but it's not really as good because of the Generation 7 nerf where Gale Wings, in order to have a priority flying type attack, you need to be at full HP. So Talonflame really took a big nerf this year, and especially with, you know, Tapu Lele with Psychic Terrain preventing that priority Braver from even connecting, yeah, it can definitely be troublesome. So Amoonguss is really good in this matchup. Palkia plus Kyogre is also really good here. And I'm thinking Tapu Lele. Yeah, Tapu Lele and Amoonguss. Not really needing my Incineroar. It's not really good here. Other than, I guess it handles everything that my opponent's restrictions aren't. But I feel like my Kyogre plus Palkia does that anyway. So yeah. I mean, I could potentially lead other Pokemon. Like, I could lead my Tapu Lele right off the bat, because if you decide to lead anything that isn't like Kyogre, I just threaten a lot. But I do want to lead Palkia in case the Kyogre is led. I'm also a little bit worried about the Amoonguss, because Amoonguss could be a scary Pokemon. I think if Amoonguss does lead, I'll want to go for the Ice Beam and Spatial Run combination immediately. Because I think one, Xerneas could just protect, and there could be a Spore option for my opponent, so that's the main reason why I think that could definitely be a potential play. And two, it's just Amoonguss is going to be hard to switch around because it can just get spores off. We're going to see the Talonflame and Kyogre, which is interesting. We'll see what kind of Kyogre, I guess it is, for my opponent. We could probably just go into Tapu Lele if I really want to. Looks like my opponent's Kyogre is Scarf, so it does outspeed mine. I feel like Tapu Lele is just such an obvious switch in though. I don't feel like you would Brave Bird because of the fact that Brave Bird doesn't make much sense here. You also don't know if I'm Choice Scarf. Unless I misread the abilities wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was my opponent's Kyogre that moved first. Also, there are no Z moves, so it can't really knock me out. So I think I'll just go for the Origin Pulse and the Spatial Run immediately just for damage output. I think Talonflame might try to set up a Tailwind here, which I think would be fine, because if I give it a Talonflame, that's the main damage output to my Amoonguss. But it looks like we're just going to see the Brave Bird. So I could have just switched into Tapu Lele, but I don't want to switch into Tapu Lele on a potential Water Spout. So a lot of damage output. My opponent won't have priority Gale Wings anymore. Life Orb Talonflame too. It's going to be that Thunder coming out from the Kyogre, just going to target down my Kyogre, which is fine because of the fact that I still get a bunch of damage into this Kyogre. Talonflame already took some damage as well, and I don't really need Kyogre to win specifically. Spatial Rend, I love that animation. Spatial Rend looks cool. I'll just bring out Tapu Lele here because my opponent can't really touch Tapu Lele. Like, a Kyogre locked in a Thunder. I wonder if that's Timid Kyogre or if we're actually Speed Tying, because I can't tell based on the damage output, but it has one to Speed Tie potentially twice. We will go out on Tapu Lele here, and I think Kyogre would want to switch out. I think Hydro Pump would still knock out Kyogre anyway, and I really don't want to see a switch out right here. So I think I'll just go for the Hydro Pump into that slot, because, you know, Xerneas might want to potentially try to come in. And I'll go for the Psychic into the Talonflame. I feel like that makes sense. Even if Kyogre stays in, it's fine as well. It looks like we are just going to see the Thunder into the Lele slot, it looks like. So that shouldn't do too much. Gets a Paralysis though, which is annoying. Let's see if the Tailwind does go up. It's just a Brave Bird. Oh, because it's not priority anymore. Oh, I completely forgot. Well, that was a mistake on my part. I completely forgot about the it's not priority anymore. And even though I talked about it in the beginning of this episode, that was really bad. I do apologize. And we missed the Hydro Pump. I think that should be game then. Unless my opponent makes a mistake. I think I have to go on opponent's choke. I have to predict who the Brave Bird goes into. Like, at this point, it looks really, really bad for me. But I'm going to just try to attempt to sport a Talonflame and protect Palkia. Because if you get rid of Palkia, you just win. Like, you literally just win. But I'm going to hope for the choke and my opponent double targets the Palkia, allowing me to get a Spore off. But it looks like my opponent's not going to. So that should be a good game because I'm not going to live the Brave Bird at all. Like, I have no physical defense investment. So Amoonguss is going to go down. As Talonflame is going to go down to the Life Orb and the Brave Bird recoil. So yeah, that was just sloppy by me. That was really sloppy. I completely forgot about my opponent could still Brave Bird afterward, even though I talked about it. So Xerneas comes in. Maybe I can still win. I'll go for Hydro Pump. Maybe if I can stall out Rain and my opponent, because it's only 2 turns of Rain and my opponent misses a bunch of Thunders afterward. I need to avoid game parrot here too, which is the bad part. So Thunder going to come out, which should do about... Oh, that doesn't do as much as I thought. Hydro Pump does connect on the Xerneas, so I am able to knock up the Xerneas. So this might actually still be a game. Oh wow, that's really bulky on Xerneas. That's either really bulky or max HP, and I got a really low roll. Geomance is going to be set up. Rip, we actually did have a chance if I knocked out the Xerneas, and I would have just liked to see what that last Pokemon was potentially. Because if I knocked out Xerneas, whatever's in the back, unless it's a Moongus, then I don't think there's a way out of this. Maybe if Life Orb Spatial Run Crit knocks out a Moongus, but they run specially defensive in this format, so I don't think so. It would have to probably be Incineroar. I would have had to hope Incineroar was the last Pokemon, which I really just can't see. I feel like it would be a Moongus. Togedemaru would be able to win this game if it has a Focus Sash, which is be able to get a Zing Zap off. So yeah, it would have to been very situational, but that's a good game to my opponent. I definitely did, like, that Talonflame messed me up. Forgot about the Galings. I gotta remember this. It's not 2016 anymore, which was the last time I really saw Talonflame being really effective. But yes, let's move on to the third game. And man, these games have been really going by fast. I know I'm using a hyper offensive team, but still, like, the fact is we're 2 battles in. Or was that the first game of today's episode? I actually can't remember. I can't remember. No, it is the second battle. We're up to the third battle, and it's only been about 16 minutes, maybe even 15, because I'm pretty sure I rambled on for the first minute. So 1545 rated player from Japan as our last opponent. Groudon, which is interesting. I think Groudon's a really underrated Pokemon right now. It's really strong, I feel like. So interesting to see that Groudon, but I do love seeing that Groudon. Lele is alright. I'm not a huge fan of Lele. I like Incineroar. Don't really like Hawlucha, although Tailwind might be helpful. I definitely want a Moongus in this matchup because of the fact there is that Xerneas, and Kyogre is definitely coming. Yeah, I think I want to leave Palkia and Incineroar here. Maybe I can bluff the Trick Room, because what I have this arrangement is specifically for this team is because you don't know what kind of Palkia it could be. Palkia was known best for probably Trick Room in 2010 and 2016. In this format, you don't know what it really runs. So I have this slow mode where it looks like I could set up Trick Room potentially with this, and then I have a fast mode with Tapu Lele and Hawlucha. So it really is like a mind game right there from Team Preview. So I'll lead my Palkia and Incineroar. I might screen Trick Room for my opponents, so yeah, we'll see if this bluff works, but we'll find out. Bring down a Moongus plus the Kyogre in the back because I need to switch in when Groudon does, so I can get the Hydro Pump off in the rain to knock out the Groudon. Groudon can't really switch in though into Palkia's attacks, which is a good thing. And yeah, Groudon just can't switch in as much anymore because of the fact it lost its fire typing and its defenses aren't that great. So Palkia and Incineroar will lead here against the Incineroar and Xerneas. Okay. So I don't know if eject button. I'll let you get Geomancy. Okay, I think the play is to fake out the Xerneas. These bit is going forever. Oh, I learned something. It looks like my opponent's Incineroar is also minimum speed. So that actually works in my advantage. Yeah, that works in my advantage. I can go for the Hydro Pump into Incineroar. I think we're just gonna exchange fake outs here, which is fine for me. I'm cool with exchanging fake outs. I don't think you're gonna fake out my Incineroar. We already saw that we're both min speed. I know we're both min speed. My opponent doesn't know because his Intimidate went last, so he probably assumes we just speed tie. We're gonna see the fake out into Palkia, so we're just gonna exchange, which is pretty good for me. So we'll exchange fake outs here, and that extra bit of chip might affect the Xerneas calc if it is a bulky Xerneas. I'll just go out Hydro Pump, the Xerneas. Just go on a Kyogre, I guess. I mean, I could see U-turn coming out from the Incineroar. I do want to make the Hydro Pump play because of the fact that my opponent might try to Moonblast or Geomancy now. You can't snatch Geomancy. You're pretty safe unless I'm Roar Incineroar. I guess maybe that's something you could be afraid of, I guess. But my opponent now knows that we're minimum speed Incineroar and we're speed time because of the fact that his Incineroar did go first with the fake out. So yeah, it's going to be a few interesting mind games here. We'll see what my opponent does. If he risk Xerneas here and I hit the Hydro Pump, I'm in a really good position because getting rid of Xerneas is always nice for my Palkia. So we'll go on to my Kyogre now. Bring out the rain. What if... Oh, don't tell me we lose the speed tie and Incineroar switches out on the Groudon. That would be the worst spot, but I don't think... I think you're in a U-turn here. Azaria's just going to protect, which is okay too. So, that's fine. Let's see what the Incineroar is going for, though. It's going to be the U-turn, yeah. So it's going to be U-turn probably in the Groudon. Okay. So I guess I could have just Hydro Pumped. Crit's annoying. Because now I'm going to be clicking Origin Pulse all the time. Because I'm not going to click Water Spout. Groudon's going to come out here. Interesting spot. Or Tapu Koko. Are you trying to make me feel safe? So you can double out into your Groudon? Do I take it? Do I take the bait? I think I take the bait. I think it's worth taking the bait. Yeah, I think it's worth taking the bait. We'll find out if it is the right play, but I think it is because I can't really play defensive here. We're gonna see the Xerneas switch out instead into Groudon. Ah, that's smart too. That means this Tapu Koko is gonna get free damage off into anything on my team. Yeah, that was really smart for my opponent as well. I like that play a lot too. I was thinking of that potentially. Origin Pulse is not gonna do anything now to these Pokemon. Well, it's gonna still do a lot. Oh, wow, that did a lot still actually. I critically on the Tapu Koko, but just goes for Gleam. Not the move I was anticipating at all. That actually puts me in an advantageous position. I thought it was going to be... Well, you can't Thunder, I guess. I know that. But I would assume Thunderbolt and a Kyogre, if anything. Maybe my opponent was trying to cover if I doubled out my Kyogre. They're expecting the Groudon because it was obvious. But that ends up working. Like, the reason I decided to make this trade is because of the fact that, you know, I'm able to get damage off at least into Xerneas. Xerneas could Geomancy. That was a good Groudon play. I was thinking that potentially, but I didn't know what Tapu Koko it is. If it was a Salt Vest, I felt pretty okay about taking that trade. But yeah, Xerneas is going to come in. I could just Origin Pulse and switch on Incineroar. Or I could just do it the opposite way. Yeah, I'll just go for Incineroar. Origin Pulse. Oh wait, no, I don't want to click Origin Pulse. Oh, I didn't want to click Origin Pulse actually. No, I need Tapu Koko alive. I hope Tapu Koko protects because I actually need Tapu Koko alive because I need to be able to red card to Xerneas out if anything. I actually want to miss or anything. Missed a... Well, we missed the Xerneas, which is not the Pokemon. We do connect with the Tapu Koko, which is okay, I guess. Well, we don't KO it, which is good, actually. Gleam boosted by Fairy Aura, which is going to do a decent amount. Geomancy going to come out. Do you have a reason to protect? Not really. This is a weird spot. This is a weird spot. Like, I need to get Rain up so I can at least clear Smog to Xerneas so I can get Palkia and then click Hydro Pump. Like, that's how I'm going to be able to win this game if I do have a chance. I don't know if he protects Xerneas or not, but I think I gotta hope for something. So I'm going to fake out the Tapu Koko, and I think I'm going to go hard Amoonguss here because of the fact that I feel like that this should work out in my favor, because I don't think you're switching Tapu Koko and Incineroar. It looks like you're preserving Incineroar, maybe because you expect my Amoonguss in the back. We'll go hard Amoonguss here. Xerneas will protect, so I won't be able to red card it unless Tapu Koko decides to just go for the attack, but luckily it does go for the protect, which is really good here actually for me. Okay, that's really good. So I'll be pretty much guaranteed unless the Xerneas goes for the double protect, which I'd be okay with. We're just gonna U-turn out the Tapu Koko. And we'll go for the Rage Powder here in case my opponent tries to go for the Moonblast, because my main goal here, because he might try to Moonblast my Incineroar. But we're going to see a Tapu Koko withdraw. That's going to be Xerneas, Incineroar. I wonder what you're going for as the main game plan. So I can still red card the Xerneas, and it looks like it did attack, so I'm guaranteed the red card. Okay, that's perfect, because Kyogre can come in. Yeah, it is a Moonblast target now. Perfect. Perfect. I guess I could have Spored or anything, too. So, Moonblast going to activate that red card. Goodbye, Xerneas. I didn't make a lot of mistakes in this game. Like, I'm realizing them now, but at least we put ourselves in a good position, because now Tapu Koko comes in. No big deal. As long as we hit our attacks, we should be good. U-turn gonna come out into the Incineroar slot. And how low was our Kyogre? Our Kyogre was decently healthy. Is there going Kyogre now or Palkia? So I can double. So maybe I could sack Mungus. I'm trying to think what's my best potential option here. I think it is go, because I'm trying to figure out how I get Kyogre in so I can just click Origin Pulse. I think I'll go Kyogre here, set up the rain. And then I think I'm doubling back out in Incineroar. Because I'm just trying to figure out how do I get Kyogre in, because you can just fake out Kyogre and go for, ooh, actually the rain disappears. That's actually really good. Now I can spore something. And I'll go for the spore into the... I'll spore the Incineroar slot. I don't see a reason not to spore the Incineroar slot. Even if Mungus goes down, I'm okay with the situation. I just need a free switch in Kyogre to click Origin Pulse, and as long as I hit my Origin Pulses, I should be good. I could Clear Smog the top of Coco too, but I don't think it's worth letting the free Xerneas switch in. We're going to see the Fake Out into that slot. We are going to see the Gleam come out. Probably just trying to expect the Rage Powder. So I do like my play here, as I will be able to get a Spore off into the Incineroar. So nappy time for the Incineroar. And I'll just Spore the top of Coco slot. And U-turn the Incineroar, because the extra U-turn should guarantee put in range of Origin Pulse. And I'll just Spore the top of Coco because I don't want to give my opponent free switch-ins or anything. I could also see Volt Switch out into Xerneas, so I don't think Clear Smog is worth trying to get the KO on top of Coco. So yeah, I'm gonna try to not butcher this endgame as much as possible. We'll see how it goes though. We're going to see the straight Thunderbolt into the Incineroar. That should knock out, and that should proc my berry. Yeah, because I'm really especially defensive. Incineroar going to be able to eat that berry. Heal back all the way up. As we will go for the U-turn. Get rid of some health on that. Incineroar doing a good amount. We go out into our Kyogre. And we click Origin Pulse. And hopefully Origin Pulse will be able to finish off both of these Pokemon. I guess the problem is, I don't think Gleam knocks out Kyogre at this range. And yeah, since I got the Spore off in the top of Coco, I can't go for Gleam anyway. So I just click Origin Pulse. Yeah, there's no reason not to. I think I just Origin Pulse, and... I mean, I could Scald here, technically. But I think it's better just to Rage Powder. Just in case Incineroar does wake up and tries to go for a knockoff into my Kyogre. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Origin Pulse. Incineroar avoids. No surprise. We will get the Origin Pulse off into the top of Coco. So top of Coco goes down. We'll see what the Incineroar, if it wakes up or not. It stays asleep though. Okay, so I'm still in a pretty good spot. Now Xerneas comes in. It can't really do much. It already set up the Geomancy earlier and was red carded out. I'm going to go for Origin Pulse. Like, the main way I was trying to position myself, because I kind of slipped up by going for the Origin Pulse in the top of Coco, I was trying to get myself in a position where I could get a Mungus on the rain, and then hopefully I lived the versus the Incineroar and the Xerneas' attack, and able to get a Spore Clear Smog off in the Xerneas. That's like the main thing I was trying to aim for, since I did mess up. But now, like, I am having this dominant position right here where I just click Spore and I click Origin Pulse. There's not much my opponent can do. I guess you have to protect Xerneas here, and you would have to, or you just hope for the Origin Pulse to miss into Incineroar in general. I think you do need health on your Xerneas though, so I think you should attempt to protect. I don't know, there are like multiple options my opponent has, but Origin Pulse, Incineroar, Xerneas, this is where we're starting missing these attacks. Dazzling Gleam gonna come out. Let's see. Does Incineroar wake up and get a Flare Blitz off? It doesn't, okay. So I'm still in a good spot. That could have been really bad though. We do get the Spore off into the Xerneas. This game's still not over by far, because of the fact now if we do miss our Hydro Pumps, because the rain did stop, it's looking pretty bad for us. We'll go out into my Palkia right here, and we'll click Hydro Pump into the Incineroar and hope that we can hit one of these accurate moves. 85, 85, 80. I mean, please. And we'll double out on Incineroar. We'll get that regenerative health with our Amoonguss. Having that regenerative health with the Amoonguss should allow my Amoonguss to 1v1 the Xerneas potentially. So we'll double out into our Incineroar here. Hopefully we connect this Hydro Pump, because if we don't, we could be in a very precarious situation. Hydro Pump. We do connect. So Palkia can hit Hydro Pumps. Kyogre, why couldn't you hit your Origin Pulses? But these are inaccurate moves. Hydro Pump will be able to finish off the Incineroar, which is nice. And, you know, the Xerneas is guaranteed its first turn of sleep. And do I just go straight for damage? I guess I do. I'll just go for Flamethrower plus Fake Out. Although I think you're protecting this turn, so I could technically get a Amoonguss in and try to get more Regenerator health. Because I could like go out in Amoonguss, U-turn myself into Palkia, then switch out in Incineroar again, but I don't think that's worth it. I just want straight damage at this point because I think Amoonguss should be able to win the game, especially with Spore and Clear Smog. Looks like my opponent doesn't get the second turn sleep, so I will get a Fake Out. And Flamethrower damage off, another Flamethrower, and the Flare Blitz will be able to knock out the Xerneas, and there's no way my opponent can win now. Yep. So yeah. Even then, I don't know. My opponent had a chance to win because of the fact I still had the Amoonguss. Amoonguss's Clear Smog would still be doing a decent chunk to the Xerneas. I'd be able to get Spore. Sleep turns are against my opponent anyway. I don't really think there was much of a way for my opponent to come back in this. Flamethrower actually just knocks out the Xerneas. Oh, wow. So we're able to pick up 2 wins and 1 loss in today's episode. I really do hope everyone enjoyed. I do apologize for making the mistakes in this battle. Like, I think there are definitely some better plays. I think the Xerneas switching on the ground might have been obvious. I think the Protect from Xerneas was a little bit obvious, so maybe I should just Hydro Pump down the Incineroar, because it might have actually put me in a better position. But yeah, otherwise, I hope everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2019. Did I say 2018? It's 2019. It's going to take me a while to get used to it. But thank you all for tuning in to today's episode of VGC 2019 Baek Battles. If you did like it, please leave a like down below. Show some support, as well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description, such as the team. If you do want to try it out, there is a QR code as well as a pastebin of this team. If you do want to go try it out, feel free to leave a comment down below as I do read them. Check out my social medias. If you want to support the channel, feel free to support it through Patreon. And yeah, there are a bunch of other stuff. If you missed the previous episodes, as I recommend, go check it out. There will be a playlist in the description down below. Of course, there's only the last episode, but who knows? Hopefully many more to come. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Until we battle again, I'll catch y'all later.